Hi Martha, hope you're doing well today. I'm okay. So today is day 14 of the year 2013. Tujazibala mpola. For the people that don't keep track, I'll keep reminding you. I'm good, Martha. Hope you're good. Yeah, 14 days. What have you done? I told you guys to get a tan kakumenya the our goals into bits. If it's 100%, then you start by achieving 1%. Personally, I've achieved the 1% so far, and the 1% of course as I programmed last year. So today we're going to be talking about how important it is to know the year of manufacture of your car. If you go to most websites, they'll abbreviate it as the YOM, but it's the year of manufacture. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to put on the SC so that I start chasing the heat. Actually I had music on. So the year of manufacture, what is it? The model and the year of manufacture are different, and of course they have figures. The model, the figures that depict what model your car is, they changed starting 2001. Then they started by giving them letters. I think there were numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's letters actually, according to the image that we have there. Anyway, so it's important for you to know both the model and the year of manufacture. But in Uganda, I think the year of manufacture will make much more sense. Most people don't know. In Uganda, the way brokers will tell you that this is a 2008 model is by looking at how it's looking. Why they say that is probably because it's not very popular for us to know how the actual model of the number. So now I'll want us to focus on the year of manufacture. The model is, you can walk into a barn and someone will not tell you which model it is. Even the Indians that bring them from Japan, you can ask them which model of the car they are trying to sell to you, and they'll sell you 2008. But 2008 will actually be the year of manufacture. Yes, the model could be the same as generation, but then in Uganda, when they talk, they will probably tell you the year. But you could find that a 2008 car, okay, is the same as a 2006 car, is the same as a 2003 car. You get, sometimes it happens like that. So you'll find that even when they change the design, because there are times that you can find a car being a 2001 model, but it looks totally different. What makes this different is probably, like we have been discussing, and we have been saying that Toyota has divisions. It has the European division, it has the American division, it has Japan, probably it has even Dubai, and then I think it has South Africa. but I think South Africa imports as well. So what happens is that a model can last like 5 years. That would be a model. For example, they say model A, okay, and then because 2001 I think is model 1. Yeah, I think 2001 is model 1, 2002 is then between 2001 to 2005 model 1, 2005 to 2010 model 2, you get like that. So that's different, and here we don't look at it. And one way you could know what model your car is by looking at the chassis number. But normally that's why you will find that you can find the cars they facelift. You find someone has a Land Cruiser 2004, but they can facelift it to Land Cruiser 2010 because those cars are the same model. They were manufactured in different years, but they are the same model. You get? Yes, Charles, how are you today? Yeah, but I know I'm making sense. So they can manufacture the same model of a car for 10 years. Okay? For 10 years. But they manufacture, for example, a Corolla in 2001, and it's the same model in US, the same model in Japan, the same model in Europe. Okay? But what happens is that the designs will totally change. But it's the same model. So I can go and buy headlamps of a 2000 model in the US that look totally different from my 2001 model, the one that I'm driving. And when I bring them, of course you have to bring them with their bumper, okay? So you have to buy the bumper, the lights, the side matama, what we call the matama, or the cheeks. So I don't know how they call it in English, but in the matama, those side walls that cover the tires, side mabati, side something, agamatama. So you have to buy matama. Sometimes you even have to buy the bonnet, okay? And that's the only thing that differentiates that car. When you find mechanics trying to tell you what they changed was the design but not the model. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And there is a time someone wanted to buy a Pajero which had been facelifted from 2003 to 2006. Makanika namugano jigula mweyo baji facelifting ateba nungi nolabira ddala omuntu atamanyi byayogerako. When they facelift a car, they don't change the engine, they don't change the body, they don't change anything. Actually, facelifting doesn't mean that the car got an accident. No, facelifting is something that you can do because you just want to change how your car looks. You get? So you'll find that the compressor, you find different compressors. Okay, you can find that a compressor is compressor but different models. Muchawudi, a model is different from a year of manufacture. You can get a car from 2000, mine is 2001 for example. I can get a car, I can get a car that is 2000, like 2006. That looks totally different from my 2001. But because I still love my car, I decide that okay, I'm going to facelift it to look like a 2006 model. Which take so not a 2006 model, a 2006 Corolla. Okay? Why? Because the one thing that is differentiating my car from that 2006 Corolla is how the 2006 Corolla looks. It has nothing to do with which model. If we are in the same model, if let's say we are in model 1 or model A, okay? If we are in model A, then that means that almost everything is the same. You see there are Corollas that are, you see the Alex, Toyota Alex, then the Toyota Fielder. All those cars that were made between 2001 and 2005. Okay? So now they look the same. That's why you'll find that I'll buy lights from a Corolla Fielder and they sit on my car properly. And I'm going to show you an example. The lights on my car are different. One has a black background, the other one has a light background. So someone can come to you nagamba, hey, morukabaji chusa, bichi bichi bichi. But it so happens that probably the black light came from a 2002 Corolla, or a 2002 Fielder, and the white light came from a 2004 Fielder. You get what these car manufacturers do is every year that comes, what they do is they improve the design of the car, but they don't change the model of the car. Kati olaba kagundi aka akajja bakaita Karibu. That was a different model of the Karibu from the very first Karibu. That's why they even look different. Their chassis number, there is a figure in the chassis number that you can identify to know which model of a car you are driving. You see the Primo Super, the first generation of Primo, the Primo Super and the Primo Ordinary, they are the same model of Primo. It's just that they changed. I'm fine, Matthias, how are you today? It's just that hi Ragnar, I hadn't seen that comment there. So it's just that what happens is that they change the design. Let's modify and make it look better. But everything that is on a Primo Super can go to the Primo Ordinary, and you will even think it's the Primo Super. You get even this Primo, the newer models. Now I remember the Bantumie Lumonde, Bantumie Green Z, and the Lumonde is here, but I don't know if the Lumonde that I was sent for is here. I want the purple Lumonde. You guys need to see this. I want to go on child. Katenjawule bachi size yokka. Size yokka yenjawulo. Nebe nagamba nerolera sibimanyi birungi. Kati mulimu kwekuba kasa. Simanyi njagala kati soko mpe bino ne bino. Kimu 10
Ndata watano tata akingeta hata wasatu. Watano nataka sako veyo ko. Uyo watano ate wakisanya abawomerera nnyo. Nenda. Teka motata. Teka. Akole medde twalo watano wokisenyi. Nange ebintu bino biraba. Mwerondengako. Omuntu asooka ebiseera ebisinga bwe mba nnina okugulako. Ono yakusoose azadduka muladde. Naye kasita muli baawamu. Omudaala muteeka kugumu si kyo. Ejjoni lya mmeka? Nsaliraako nina nnya. Nina nnya. Ate gwe bagambye muvubuka munnange kati kitegeeza. This is why he say yams.
Not why you say this is Gombe yams.
Naye gana nti bagayita bwayise.
It is why you say, but it is in Gombe, not why you say there.
Nye 14.
Nedda mukama wange 15. Ojja kunyiza mukadde mama wo.
Wamanya bukwata.
Soko gire soko.
Bajjako no greens. Nyine 14 muzee.
Mukama wange ezo.
Ejjoni linne kubanze nga lyanzeke wange tebagade bagenda bagayinza n'okuvunda sijja kulira. Nze nga lyanzeka era ogafumba. Kyobola mbadde nga gobye. Ogafumba gabaga mpaka.
Nedda batera ku mmere bwe batine batera ko ne.
Naye oloza bakazi bafa benda kuzino bakyasaaniika ebyo n'asaaniika. Wamma bakyabikola. Ate abakozi bo bafunyo tebamanyidde ddala kufumba. Sibanjayo. Oba baleeta.
Bakuleta no kukinaka kyekinyirira.
Buli mufunye. Sibimanyi oba ye nakati oba ye katibe naye mpaka balance kano. Ziri 3 ne ziri 2 ze 5 sikyo? Kati manjayo 5. Nfunye.
Nejjo tola mujjo.
Ejjoni ngenda kuwa 4. Ngenda kuwa 14. Awoli nnemye.
Olukumi bwe luli braza njagaliza muganda wange.
Ate era nkwagaliza naye gwatayagadde. Nguze lumonde wa 3 sikyo? Anti ze munziriza 5. Kikyo. Si kyekyo. Temumanja. Braza nkwa 14 ngende. Ejjoni liganye.
Nali agadde okukikola naye John liga sente nnyingi. Nkwe 10,000 baba. Tolemesa gwannemesa kati.
Gwannemesa. Kale Brad. Naddamu toyagadde.
Nja kugulako olulala.
Kale maji.
So back to our year of manufacture. Kanzizemu ka SE cafe wano. Emma, I hope you're doing well today. Nkusoso olwaleero. You are homesick. Wow. Mother, did you come notangamba konchoze? So apparently, I used to buy things from Kalere a lot. Naye Kalere kati naye wa bei nnyo. Ate waliwo ebintu ebibula, and there are things that like ogirabye Costa. Eyo Costa ogiraba sente zigula ka rush. Zigula Costa eyo mu mbeera mweri. Kati sinategeera. That's why I said the rush is totally overpriced. So back to our manufacture. Oraba, you see that Alex. Now that's a different model of the Alex. Era amatala gayo tegafaanana nga gange. Okitegeera, that's a different model. If mine is model like model A, then that might be model B. You know, jagisanga ngeyo Alex ogisanga it's like a 2006 model. I'm going to show you the. Let me just park here and I show you the lights so that you understand what I mean. Because I have like, I thought it was because of Christmas, but there is no more Christmas. Okay. Hi Astro. So when you look at these lights on my car, what about this one? This is clear, but this is black here. This is black and this is clear. Okirabye? Nenga amataala ge gamu. Okitegeera? They bw'oligula bw'oti, it just sits in that position. It would have no problem, totally no problem. But it comes from a different year of manufacture. So that's how can manufacturers actually do their thing. Every year they try to improve, and this should be something that we would probably all do. That every year that passes, whatever you do, you improve on the quality. You get Mokama Wange. I have been here at the very beginning, but I no longer comment because Martha Yamenyo. Martha, repair the man's heart. Repair the man's heart. Repair the man's heart goes to city. Okay, what do you mean, Astro? What do you mean? Yeah, so you know the Kubo Yafe. Hi Jonah. Hope you're doing well. This is our road. Yeah, so that's what but why is the year of manufacture important to you? Especially for the guys that are buying cars of 1.5cc, 1.3cc. Okay, Martha, let me take your word. Yeah, so the people that are buying, especially if you're buying a car that is of a small engine, it is very important for you to know the year of manufacture. But also it's important for you to know to look at the chassis number. Normally when you go to buy a car, these are things that people take for granted. The chassis number is not supposed to change anywhere in the world. There is nowhere in the world where it is allowed for you to change the chassis. The chassis here frame motoka. I think the Americans call it the VIN number. So the chassis number is like an identifier. Charles, that's a good idea. It's like an identifier that says this is like, you see, like the number plate, like a number plate. So the chassis number is an identifier for the chassis. And that's how, for example, URA will identify and know that that car is the original.
that someone buys a South Sudanese car that has a South Sudan number plate, gets a car from Chebwai, say for example that was Kutemad, same model, and they buy a number plate, they buy a logbook, and they put those number plates on that car without paying tax. You get? Now, and it's illegal. It's very illegal. Now, there is also another kind of kubatiza that people do, where they cut that area of the chassis number, basarao with the vegeta grinder, nibakajao. Then they get chassis number from another car and they paste that one there. That's also illegal. So, but if you know how to check those things, you can actually check and know that this was changed or this wasn't changed. So it's important. And how do you know your chassis number? When you get a logbook, there is a field where they say chassis number. But also when you open the hood, I'm going to like do a full video on that as well, and to show you how fraud is done, because sometimes people buy cars and there are chances that you can buy that kanga bagichusa ngoba bagula akayumba, because ogula akayumba chiri illegal. It's illegal. It's just that people do it, but it's illegal. And sometimes you can do it and you lose your money. That's why abantu abamanyi bino ebintu emoroka bwe etomera nebange wedde wajesonywa bwesonyi, because you will invest more money in that car and then lose all that money. So it's probably better no jiguza abatemi and you buy another car. So all the other things actually can be changed. The engine, that can be changed. The tire size, that can be changed. You can go and change everything, but you can't change the chassis number. And the chassis number, what URA can use it for to actually take your car. You remember these guys that changed their cars and they made them into pickups during the lockdown. Arthur, please check my comment about the Ipsam. I'm going to check. Okay, you remember the guys that changed their cars to pickups during the lockdown, because pickups were the only type of cars that were allowed to move. So some people got Pajeros, they turned them into pickups. Some people got Regias, the vans, and then they made them pickups so that they could move. Now those people brought trouble to themselves. The part they took off the car was not kept. Now that is not allowed, because your chassis number specifically specifies what kind of car it is. If it's a pickup, the chassis number, URA has a system where they can punch in that chassis number and they figure out if your car was a pickup or not. Now if they punch that number in and your car was not a pickup, but at this moment it's a pickup, they are obligated to actually take that car. Like, they're obligated to bachita batya mu luzungu okuwamba. They're obligated under the law to ekigambo nkimanyi naye sikiwulira mu mutwe, to confiscate that car and you'll never get it back. So any kind of modification on the car's chassis that you're doing, let me see. I thought it was because of Christmas. Let me see. Please no comment about the Ipsam. Martha. Not impound. Yes, Mose impound is the best word. Martha. Ngasira ba comment ya Ipsam. Martha, I don't see the Ipsam comment. Jidem. I don't. I'm at the very first comment is Nedda. I think buzi. Let me try this. Probably it will come back. Their comment says buzi. Arthur, give me examples of on Ipsam Super and the other normal that one can share things of everything that is on the Ipsam, the normal Ipsam. However, see, because with the Ipsam it's not worth it to change and make your Ipsam. It's not worth it, because the Moroka Zombie what you need to do is probably look for the Ipsam at the right time and probably look in the right places. You get, because for example, you see the Ipsam that we bought 5.6, Had it been in a bond, it would have been like 7 million because it was really nice. Which take it to the extent that people were buying it. Actually, brokers were buying it 6.5. We bought it today. The next day when it was being worked on, people were buying it there and then. I think one offered 6 and another one offered 6.5. You get? But I asked the mechanic, why don't you tell the owner of the car that someone is offering to buy it? And he told me the trouble we went through to get this car. We will actually go into double trouble to find a car that is as good as it is. And he was right. So the Ipsum Super, how do you differentiate? The lights for the Ipsum Super, the front lights are not glass, they are plastic. The lights for the normal Ipsum, Mugongo Gwambwa, they are glass. The front lights, the headlamps, they are glass. That's one differentiating factor. Okay? The other differentiating factor is the bumper. The bumper for the Ipsum Super looks sexier. Tetera bikanga gye bazinga buzinzi. Okay? Eberako lumu eberako n'obubalaza, by the way. Okay? Even the rear bumper ebera different. In the interior of the Ipsum Super, for example, the seats are normally either cream or they look corporate. That's one thing you need to know. The interior of the normal Ipsum looks so ordinary. There are so many flowers. You remember in 1990 something, for us who were born in 1990s, you remember we balinga batimba ennyumba nga batimba ebitambala ebya kale nyingi. You remember that? So the normal Ipsum actually has a lot of colors. The Ipsum Super normally has even a plain color like this one. The same applies to the Primo Super. Okay? The Primo Ordinary, the Primo Super, what they try to do is whenever they are trying to improve a new, like let's say 2000, because the Primo Ordinary is in 1999, then 2000, 2001 never called a Primo Super. And then I know you understand that 2002, 2003 never calculated the Primo new model, which take it. Yeah. So every time they improve, and I think you see this Subaru that has just overtaken me. That is the Subaru Mugongo Gwambwa. Now that Subaru is like the first generation of those Foresters. Okay. Now that model, you will find that there are so many variations in that model, and they share everything. You can for example with the Primo Super, you can get the seats out of the Primo Super, put them in the Primo Ordinary, and it will be okay. Get the dashboard out of the Primo Super, because the dashboard in the Primo Super is different from the dashboard in the Primo Ordinary. Put it in the Primo Ordinary and you'll be okay. Okay? Get the lights, bumpers, matama, all those things, side mirrors, these bineminyoro, because those are the differentiating factor. With the Primo Super, ojja kusanga in a silver handle. Okitegeera. Then ojja kusanga nga muno obuntu bonna bonna bwa silver. Then it has a Formica, which the Primo Ordinary doesn't. The Primo Ordinary just has a black thing, and the black thing actually it's also expensive, but the Formica is more expensive because the Formica for the Primo Super is like 400,000. You get it? But everything can work. That's why you find that the people that are buying Primo new model, there is a Primo new model that is called C Light. Okay, it's called C Light because the rear lights have a C. They have a shape of a C. The rear lights, if you look at Primo models to Primo cars, the new models, and you look at the rear lights, you will probably see the C. And the Primo new model that is not modified doesn't have the C light. But you can buy the C light and just put it where the other light has been. And so sometimes when those brokers want to sell the Primo new model more expensive, if it was not a C light, they buy the C light and put it there. The one thing that normally they don't change is that the Primo new model that has a C light also has a zigzag gear lever. Okay, it goes in zigzag. But the Primo new model Ordinary doesn't have the zigzag. You get it? And those are the two main differentiating factors of the Primo new model. The C light is much more expensive than this other one that doesn't have a C light. So but the brokers will, because there are people that don't know those differentiating factors. You'll find that even with the the Subaru Mugongo Gwamba, you'll find that they have differentiating factors. Now that I even think about it, I'm thinking I'm going to try and find, probably I can facelift my car. But the facelifting has been seen with mostly these big cars, the Land Cruisers, mostly Land Cruisers, because someone can have their Land Cruiser nganamu, okay, and then ngarabe miaka jija. So what they do, they buy what they call a body kit, and that body kit has bumper, bonnets, matama, lights, you get it, and that's what they remove from. And that's what they remove from the car. Babi jako neba zede bali neba leta bino neba sake bipya. And you know, facelifting a car can be very expensive. You can find someone that has a Land Cruiser spending over 10 million just facelifting that Land Cruiser. You get it? But the moment they facelift it, that's why you'll find that jukira bagaga betwala banga kuchalo nemugamba yale sempya. But the fact is aba yale achavuga eri mmotoka ye. But yata demo akasenta akatono, instead of buying a 2016 model probably at 210 million, he spends 10 to 15 million to facelift his car. You can do that even for our cars. You have a RAV4, the first generation, and then there is a second generation, by the way, still the same model, but it has nicer lights, they are bright and all. It has nicer interior, nicer dashboard, you get nicer bumpers and all. So what you do is you just buy the kit, or you go to Chewa, you find someone garimu jitema no mugurako bumper, no muguraka amatara, uboya gadde nemito, and all of a sudden everyone will think you're driving a new car. Nayenga ate moroka iri nga denyogula your facelift is. So normally you'll buy ogula byo masa wo bumper, bonnet, lights, matama, because they are different. And sometimes you'll find with some cars that you even have to change the doors because the matama gari gabaga kwatagana nenziji. So you keep your chassis, but you change everything else. You get it? And then all of a sudden you're in a new car. So that's just how it works. But why is the year of manufacture important? But do you have to pay URA for these changes? No, the facelifting, you don't have to pay URA anything. Because of course they will come and say, yeah, but does the 2002 look like this? As long as for URA, as long as the chassis number in the logbook is the chassis number that you have on the car and it was not altered in any way, for them they have no problem. There are times you see how the police does a video, even URA does a chido, and in that chido they are trying to find altered cars. You get, how are you, Arthur? On Toyota Raum, new model, ISC, old model, Spacio, new model, and Vitz RS old model. Which car do you have? I do recommend, but I have to 12 million. I'll get a more Vitz RS because IST at 12 million will not be good, but the Vitz RS at 12 million can be good. You get it? The RS at 12 million can be good. The Spacio at 12 million will not be good. The Raum new model at 12 million at the current condition. If it were last year, beginning of last year, the Raum new model would have been good. Just done with Manchester Derby. Man, there's a time I tried when I was in senior one, we were competing for a chick, and the chick loved football, and the other dude loved football. But the dude was called Tebusweke Ibrahim. He was the son of an army man. Very sharp guy. He was number one always in the class, and for the first time in senior one I was number 3. But then this chick took all my thoughts. Number 7. Man, babes can distract. So that babe distracted me. Anyway, I tried to love, and in my senior one I was actually a Manchester United fan. I think I'm still a Manchester United fan. Manchester United, the word sounds good in my head. Arsenal seems like doesn't sound so good in my head. So still I'm a Manchester United. How can I know the car manufacturer here? Because I don't want the 1990 generation. Ipsum is 1998. I think it's the Picnic. There is a 2000 model of Ipsum, the old model. Why am I even saying model? The 2000 manufactured Ipsum. Starting 2001, they started making the Ipsum Picnic. So that's a different model now. If you went to Ipsum's and try to find the model, you'll find that the Ipsum Picnic is a different model. Never choose a design, never type some picnic in game. You'll find that if you get a door from this Ipsum Picnic of 2001 and put it on the Ipsum of the 2004, it fits. The bumpers, it fits. You get it? So I think starting 2001, that's when they started making picnic. But there's a 2000 model of the Ipsum. Terabika nnyo era bw'ogisanga ebeera na mu namba mpya. You get UAT, UAU, era abasinga abazivuga zaabanga nnungi. Yeah. So, but how do you know the year of manufacture of a car? Now, normally the best way to know the year of manufacture of a car, orabira ku musipi. Okay? This seat belt here. Wansi wali. Let me park and show you. Let me show you how we see the year of manufacture. But some cars, you will find that the year of manufacture is actually techalabika. But if a car is good, still good, the year of manufacture is still visible. So when you come to the seat belt, wansi wano, you see this tagline, kano. Kati akange kasiimuse, by the way. Akange tekachalabika. And that's what happens with most old cars. Jebakoma okujoza, jikakoma okusiimuka. But this is the first place that you can see the year of manufacture. It's here, the side of the driver, and it's also on the side of the passenger. But the front seat belt, the rear seat belt, I've not actually tried. I'm going to try and see. Yeah, so that's how you see the year of manufacture on the car. Okay, but with some cars, we are in B series. So with some cars, it's actually here. Let me show you. With some cars, it's here. Especially those newer model cars, the Fielder and all that. Wow. But most of the cars you'll find it on the seatbelt. Most Ipsums cars. But the one thing you can do when you're going to buy a car, tell the person selling to you the car, according to the Ipsums, because Ipsum is bosanga Ipsum mu UBA ate yebampya nnyo. But UAT, if you find a UAT, UAU, UAZ mu Ipsum ebamotoka mpya era ne bogivuga mboti ogiwulira ng'ekyali mpya okitegeera. Yeah, so UAT for Ipsum is actually a new car. But if bosanga ng'emisipi gyasiimuuka, you should always ask the person selling the car to you to show you the copy of the logbook. On the logbook, still there is that place where they write the year of manufacture of the car, and then you will see Nebagama 1998, 2001, bichi. Either on the same logbook there is chassis number, engine number. Now, for you to make sure that the logbook belongs to that car, is you go to the front, open the hood, the bonnet. Okay, when you open that hood, what do I kabati? That's something I've not showed you. Let me park and show you, my dears. Ate munaga n'okunsondera okugula essimu nga saabalaga chassis bwe bagiraba bannange. Kambalage. Jeke! Ha! Nerabidde okugamba Jeke nti ndi mu kunoonya. Let me go nve kaserengete wano. Jeke! I'm sondering to buy a new phone. Mbadde ndi mu kusonda nga nerabidde nti nyina omugagga we Denmark. Anyway, so I'm going to park somewhere where it's very safe, and I show you how to see the chassis number. So that's one way for you to see that the year of manufacture actually belongs to the car you want to buy. Is you look at the chassis number on the logbook, and then you look at the chassis number in the car. Wali munda mu hood. Sometimes they ebintu era bano kulujiwa embala z'ebibeerawo with the new cars. Kati fezineza fe 2001 bichi biba byasiimuuka dda si mu bubi. N'emmotoka eba etambudde emyaka miyitirivu. So it's very hard for you to find that actually they work. Now, why is it important for you to know the year of manufacture of that car? The older the car is, the more issues it might have, especially with these cars that especially with these small engine cars, with the cars that, like I told you, the Ipsum we bought had 470,000 kilometers on the clock. There are people that no longer look at the mileage, by the way. Ngabebi mileage is but the older the car, sometimes this doesn't apply to all cars. The older the car, the more kilometers it will have. But of course, Now, if I bought a car at the same time with let's say with the person that lives in Ntinda, and we work in the same place, okay, and we both drive that car, our cars for a year, and when we bought it, we are sure that we bought the cars at the same mileage, okay, my car will have more mileage than the person in Ntinda, okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean that my car will be in worse condition than the person in Ntinda, because I may be a better maintainer than the person in Ntinda, okay. So sometimes that's why mileage doesn't really matter. Like we bought the Ipsum that had a very Ipsum with the mileage, but their engines were worse than the Ipsum we bought here. Now let me just show you the chassis number here. The profile was only made by the phone. This is made by the computer. Okay. So when you come and open the hood, this is the bonnet here. Some Americans call it the hood. Let me show you the different parts where you can see the chassis. I have no problem. So this is the chassis number here. NZE121 figures is it dako. Okay? So NZE ne wano yino. Kati wano bagiyise frame number NZE121. Okay? No gena maso ne figures ezendala. Then the engine number yino weri 18ZFE. Okay? Ne bakulaga even the engine capacity 1.496. Okay? Ne bakulaga model yino TA. Okay? NZE121 AEMEK. So that's the model. So you're going to find so many other Corollas or Fielders that are in this model. Okitegeera naye nga myaka janjawulo wano bakulaga ne color 1D9 trim. Okitegeera, they show you so many things kwaka akabati. Now emmotoka ze babba asobola omuntu okujja n'akasalirako wano ne wano n'aleeta ak'emmotoka gy'ayagala okubatiza n'akateeka awo. I don't know if I make sense, but that's a chassis ne wali chassis weeri. So that's how you know when you get the copy of the logbook ng'omuntu agikuwadde. What you do is you go with the logbook masao, and you go with the logbook masao no kebera chassis no labanga it checks out. If it doesn't check out, either the logbook is fake or the car is fake. So that's one thing that you need to know. Yeah, kati ndoza echo tukirabye. Awo baleme babbirawo kijja kuyambako obutagula mmotoka nzibe oba mmotoka mbatize. Okay, but then mukusoma bintu by'abano. Let me go. Okay, so the year of manufacture is important, because the older the car is, okay, it doesn't matter. But you'll find a Corolla that looks like mine, same model, but Ojagisanganga, mine was probably made in 2001, ngeriba ajikola 2000. Okitegeera, if let's just make a comparison that is a little more practical. Like if you have the same model of a car, model number mujirabye, you have the same model of a car, okay, and it's 2001 to 2005 probably. There is a Corolla that was made in 2005, and then there is a Corolla that was made in 2001. Okay, the Corolla made in 2001 is definitely older than the Corolla made in 2005. So sometimes you will find that one Corolla looks older. Ningo gamagazifanaga no yavuga bubi. Okitegeera ngane number plate is ezimu. But what happens is that we just happen to buy during the same period. But the other one has a 2005 year of manufacture Corolla. Me, I have a 2001. Okay? Okitegeera, you'll find that by the time I bought mine, ne Japan bali bajivuze nnyo, and ne wano bajivuze nnyo. Let's stick to Japan. You'll buy a Corolla that was driven so many times in Japan, for so many miles in Japan. For example, I've been giving you an example of a friend of mine that bought a Fielder with 180,000 kilometers on the clock. That's a lot of mileage. That's a lot of mileage for a car that you're going to buy like you're buying a new thing. You get? I would actually advise, yes, is a more mileage, but normally if you find it in the bond, packed in the bond, it's very rare to find that mileage was rewinded, especially when you buy from Indians. I'm not going to guarantee for Ugandans, but na Uganda bayaye. You get? Bana Uganda bayaye until we actually redeem our name by trying to be practical. Emoroka gisero omuntu naye ngeri original. You get? But either way, but I've seen that Indians have proved to be a little more honest. So what I'm saying is that always when you go to the bond, it's better for you to buy a car that has a lower mileage. Mubond is on Azona, I think it's rare for them to do it. The people that buy them from the bond, he goes from the bond, buys that particular car, probably at 200,000 kilometers, he rewinds it to 40,000 kilometers. Yaba ajijjeyo mu bondi nga ajivuga wano, but he knows wanabeera ku street agenda ba he's the only one that has a car that has 40,000 kilometers. Everyone else will have 160 something. So kati yagenda kuba atunda bei wadde nga ajigula laisi. You get? Let me try to tell you more. Someone goes and they buy a car that has 180,000 kilometers on the clock. Okay? And if a car is being sold at 35 million, okay, yene bajimuguza 31. Remember, the car is at 35 in every bond, but because of the big mileage, he buys it at 31. Do you know what that means? He will have the cheapest car in the city. So what he does, he pays the person that rewinds the mileage about 500,000 shillings. That person rewinds the mileage, okay, to 40,000 kilometers. Now, he starts using the mileage thing as a selling point. Remember, he has a latest number plate. The car is still new, but now it also has a good mileage. So you find the same cars in the bond with bigger mileage, okay, selling at 35. Yena akuguza 34. Ontegera chengamba. When all was you have gotten a deal, no gamba abamu bondi baseera. Me, I bought this car cheaply. Najigula 34. Buyoma kugamba bwinga wagula raisi. And then you'll also say ante mileage yayo ntono. Okitegeera. You'll even say ate mileage yayo chi ntono. Kumbe baji rewindinga. So when you're buying a car, it's better, especially if you have the budget to actually go to the bond. Go to the bond and buy a car from the bond. Number plate. Normally those cars are rewinded. Yes, I understand that taxation can be an issue, that they had to pay taxes and they put the number plate. But it's much more realistic for you to do it the other way around. So just give me a minute. That's why having an OBD scanner comes in handy. Most car dealers in bonds are Pakistanis rather than Indians. Why? JK. You guys, give me a moment. Weekend we bajita munga tebanye dex soda kinene bajja kunyiga. So I hope it makes sense. But JK, does the OBD scanner actually detect that thing? Because that would be the only reason I'm going to buy the OBD scanner, to help the people that we buy cars with detect that. Let me research it as well and see which OBD scanner actually does it. Yeah, but
So that's why it's important for you to know the year of manufacture of your car. Sometimes when people are buying those cars, they don't look at the year of manufacture, they only look at the model. I don't know if now it makes sense. The model and year of manufacture, normally you can find cars that look different, but they are the same model. You get. Now I'm actually thinking of doing a facelift of my car, so that you find me in my Corolla ngamurowoza nagula andala kumbe netekamu asatu, because now for me to facelift my car it will not be that expensive. Instead of buying another bumper iliyowa benzi gyeyatomera, I just buy a bumper for a newer year. But they almost all look the same. I think the difference with my Corolla and other Corollas in the same model but newer years is bachusa matala, the way the lights look. Then sometimes they also change the bumpers. If my model has lights in the bumper, you black, you get it. Then they change the interior. There are those models like a 2002, 2003. They have Formica here, not black. Mine has black. Yeah. Actually, yeah, so it's important for you to understand that sometimes you will buy a car. Okubane mileage doesn't mean that the car is actually old or has problems. There are people that are good at maintaining cars, and then there are also people that are not good at maintaining cars. So that's why the difference comes in. Buying a car from Arthur is not the same as buying a car from JK. Kati JK abera Denmark. You can find that JK's car has been parked for 2 years. Okay? And everything is still intact. Nenga Arthur ajikurubusa 85 kilometers every day. So Arthur's car will definitely have some more things to repair. So that's the other thing that you need to be careful with as you are buying cars. So now that you know the use of the year of manufacture, when you're going to buy a car, especially if you have some budget, normally the people that have 15, 16 million, 20 million, you guys have to be very vigilant. That's a lot of money that you're going to put in a car. I totally understand when you say ngenda genda negulire motoka nga ndinze car obange nene makanika kojja wange go yampadde. It totally makes sense that you want to save that mechanic ogenda muwaye emitwalo 5. You're going to save 350,000 zotagala kuwa Arthur, but you may end up making a very big mistake, the biggest mistake of your life. So sometimes it's important, but at least got knowledge mujirina, you know how to search for those things. Yeah, but if you're buying, for example, a car in the bond or a car that is like new UBB, is a motor car, the seat belts normally have those things. No one so but the other thing that I tell you, I've seen people that bought cars in a logbook. That's a very, very, I don't want to be very bad. I don't want to use a bad word. There is a time I said the word stupid, and my son was there, and he told the mommy, daddy has said a bad word. You get. So it's important for us to understand. You don't buy a car without looking at the logbook. For example, the Ipsum we were buying, the logbook those guys had was wrong. Even as the information we got was, the information we got and the logbook they were giving us, those things were totally different. Actually, these guys, the guys that sold the car to the person who bought it from, even were trying to hide the logbook. I think but they did not know that someone can actually come to buy a car and they verify. But the good thing is, for us, we called the person in whose name the car was, and he said he will do transfer for us. Your brand hasn't switched. No, I said 350 because I said when you take a mechanic to the bond, you give him 50,000, so you're saving 350k. You get it? Instead of adding the 50 to the 350 and give it to Arthur and pay him 400,000. That's why I said 350. My brain switched. I charge 400k. Yeah. So and I think professionalism is today I was watching a program on YouTube, and they were saying that in Europe and the US, even when you have money to pay for a house, to make a down payment, it's not advisable. You get mortgage on the house. That if you actually have cash to buy a house at once, and you're not already rich in the rich people's list, they actually ask you where did you get the money from. You get.
So and there were so many people here. They seem to be high net worth individuals, and they were saying, "Ah, I still have a mortgage. I still have a mortgage. Yes, I made a bigger down payment, but I still have a mortgage." You get it? And then I realized that when a country is organized, things actually work themselves out. But here in Uganda, our kind of mortgage is different. You do like Arthur. You build a house step by step. That is your mortgage. Tewaba wakubanja kokwata yokote kako. That's what we call mortgage. Boyiwe nkokotonga muyingira. Okitegeera. Then you go tandika okuba plasta mpola mpola. That's our mortgage. I think for us in Uganda it would be the safest kind of mortgage. Interest free. You buy your plot, you're paying mortgage slowly by slowly. And that's why I normally tell you guys, when I find people that are telling abantu don't build a house, it's killing capital. People in Uganda never have all the amount to build a house. Sente abana antono natandika nezo along the way wakubayo chidiru naweza waka sente na atekamu. Along the way wakubayo akasente na atekamu. You are right. You attract all sorts of attention from the taxman. Exactly. So, and I would actually think it's the same here. But here, but they are trying now, actually. Today, if your account has never received more than 15 million, for example, and you put 15 million at once, they freeze the account, and then you come and prove where you got that money from. So I think that's what that's the first policy that I've seen work. If you get more money than you have ever gotten, if for example your account has been getting, getting 1,500,000, 1 million, and then all of a sudden you get 10 million at once, they call you, bring the invoices you use to get this money, you get. So when you find people that sell land, for example, and they sell land 40 million and the money goes to their account at once, your account will get frozen. You get it? And I think the trick that people have been using now is the moment he sells land, instead of taking the money to the account, he buys land. Or he puts some money on another person's account, and then he divides the money a lot, so many times. That's the trick I've been saying. But for us here in the estate, normally when someone sells their plot, like if they bought the plot 10 million and they sell it 15, then he finds another plot at 10 million, then he goes with the 5. You get, and then he would wait for the time that that plot actually appreciates and he also makes a profit from it. You get, because the 10 million that would have gotten his account frozen is not frozen anymore because there is no money. And even the 5 that he takes was it they buy stock for their shops probably if they have a business and all that. Yeah. So, but in Uganda also the taxman is pulling out their socks. Like now, for the people who are in events, before you get the police clearance, you have to go with the tax clearance. So if you have not been paying tax all along, but you're saying that Ogenda Kora Chiburi, you need police clearance, then they ask you where is the tax clearance first. If you don't have a tax clearance, police will not clear you. And if police is not clearing you, you can come at any time during your event and cancel it. But me, I'm safe. I've been paying tax for a very long time. It has said me once, I saved most of my money this side and sent most of it in just a week's time. The account was frozen until I verified the source exactly. So you need to verify. I think the reason they want you to verify is they want to see, is it taxable? Then if it's taxable, you pay tax. If it's not taxable, they let you be. You get. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, I started sending the money in several portions using different means. Exactly. So I think the people abroad, every one week you send 500k. Because ziba zigenda ko katono katono. Negwe kwata million ya video sending on kumojja kuwulira. You get? So, and I think that's why these government officials that steal money, when they steal money, they don't take it to their accounts. They keep cash in their houses. They buy land expensively. Then they build apartments immediately because they don't have to verify apartments to anyone. You get? I think that's why they do what they do. Yeah. So you guys have understood the YOM manufacture, the importance of the YOM manufacture, and yeah, chassis number. The chassis number is kada akayumba kano kendimwe gye bayita chassis, and the number is the identifier of the chassis. Then the engine number is the number of the engine. And I told you I don't sell more than 14 JKR. And I told you guys that it's important for you to understand when you're changing your engine, you need to apply to URA. When you're changing your color, the color of the car, you need to apply to URA. Okay? The only time you can change the color is if you're changing the bazita variation. For example, there is what we call black, and then there's what we call matte black. Black. But if a car was black and you want to make it white, now that you have to go to URA. But I've seen people do it without verification. One time it will get to you. One time it will get to you. What you say Moroka Kalanga Toba Gambia. So that's one thing that needs to be, that you need to always remember. It's okay. You can change the tires. Oh, even the tire size, by the way. If you're going to, for example, the car was supposed to have 13-inch tires, and you want to put 14-inch, you actually pay your A to allow you. They never refuse you. Tebagana Neoba Sasura to allow you to change. Change it, even in the logbook it changes. You get, so that's what I'm going to do when I'm changing the engine of. I'm going to go to them, and I think at that time we must have taken a pay in the car in Jagaraji for that trend, because it's a car that I would want for my. Yeah, network. Car they can, you get, because then you can put silver wherever. But if your car was made with one color, for example white, we no genda jebafuira rangi obagamba mutere mu kikubo kya black. Ha! Actually, traffic police can arrest you for that. Give me one moment, guys. I realize proof of source whenever I send 15 million and advice. Hey, can't you guys know about the Tebachimanyi? It's a law, I think. It's kind of a policy, and all banks do it. The nang this money. Like there's an amount of money that you don't get in. You need to have always a source of. When you sell land, you will bring your agreement and bichi, and then the bank will have to keep it. And then if the bank keeps it, URA might not come to you immediately. But even 10 years from now, they will tell you in 2022 or in 2023, you sent money, okay? You sent money, you sold land, but you did not pay tax, because you're supposed to pay tax whenever you sell something. You get 10 years. That's why you find that some people atukanga bambanya million bisatu na inga tamanyi jizava. You get, and then you will need to get a lawyer to help you work out your taxation issues. You get, and not all lawyers, by the way, do. one of our members here, Chisache Simon, is actually an accounting lawyer. Obaba Baita accounting lawyer. He's a lawyer that is specialized in accounting. Oh, taxation, sorry. Taxation lawyer. After I have a question. Among these cars, which one is favorable? Opa, G-Touring, Caldina, Ipsam. They're favorable for what? That's the other thing. Favorable for what? The Opa is very rare and expensive. That's one thing you need to know. Because you see, Touring, Caldina, Ipsam, they are in the same price range. The Opa is not in that price range. So at Opa G-Gem. But what do you mean favorable? You want it to be favorable for what? What are you going to use the car for? Are you going to be driving every day to work? Or like a school van? Or you're going to be using it to carry stuff? If you're going to be carrying stuff, the Ipsam will do better. The Caldina is not that bad, but the Ipsam has more space, bigger boot, you get, and has more power. The Caldina is also okay. The G-Touring, actually, Caldina, the G-Touring, you'd rather buy the Ipsam. The Ipsam would be a better one. Which the Ipsam would be a better car. Because Ipsam, it's a business car. You get it? But Caldina tevanga business car. The thing that makes the Ipsam a business car is that it's a 7-seater. You get it? And 7-seater cars, 7-seaters actually abantu bazigula nnyo because as family cars, as school vans, as special hires, you get it? Yeah, so that's why the Ipsam would actually do better. Now yeah, the Caldina is okay. Now Caldina wouldn't. Those are comparing a Caldina with Ipsam, and you can't compare it to a G-Touring. The G-Touring is Caldina because of fuel consumption. It has very good fuel consumption. Yeah, Caldina yoche chimune Ipsam. But there are Caldinas that have 1.5cc, but they are rare. If you found a Caldina with a 1.5cc engine, because you'll be having the comfort of a 2000cc car, but with a fuel consumption of a 1.5cc. That's a very good thing for you. Yeah. So I think the comparison in because Opa is, first of all, Opa is a very rare car. 2, Opa is very highly priced, and it's fair ka Opa kamoro kakalungi. Karimu engine ya primo new model. Yeah, so I think it's my time to go, guys. I told you what I came to tell you. Thank you very much for always taking the time to be part of these broadcasts. I don't take it for granted. The people that give me business and the people that recommend me for business, I don't take it for granted. Thank you for always doing that. I do pre-purchase inspection, and it's very affordable, only 400,000 shillings. That 400,000 shillings, you're paying for my time, for the mechanic and his time. You're also paying for fuel to move us around, because sometimes we move. That's one thing you need to understand. Searching a car, looking for a car is actually a full day job most of the times. Of course, most of the times you get a car in one day. But I've found out that normally when you don't get a particular car that you want in one day, your choices might have. Sorry, my network. So if you come to look for a car, not even with me, if you go to look for a car anywhere, no jinonya in for 2 days in Gatojiraba, so come back next month. Thing I've realized in my years of buying cars and in my experience of helping people buy cars. So I have to go, guys. Thank you very much for taking the time to be part of this live broadcast. Let me just go through the names. Of course, Martha was #1 today. Ragnar, Charles, Matthias, Emma, Mose, Astro Lounge, Jonathan, John, yeah, I think that's JK, of course, David. There's a name I'm not seeing here. There's a name I'm not seeing. Aha, yeah, I think that's all. Thank you very much for guys for always taking the time. It really means a lot. Don't forget, I sell tracking devices. If you have a car, this is the time for you to install the tracking device. Imoroka to be protecting. Take a arambare mejibako matala. Your car is your asset, so you don't. You guys, ninze no mathana Emma and Veko, but sharing email. The other thing that could happen is that both Martha and Emma WhatsApp me, and I become the middleman, and I yeah. What do you see? Ndaba chikola Martha. Martha text me again. Text me. Fuel friendly, go with the Oppa. Oppa would be a better choice. Oppa would be a better choice, Matthias, but yeah, bay. Like last time we were looking for an Oppa, the only Oppa we saw in town was 10 million. And that's the only one we saw. When you look, G2 is very fuel friendly. Now, see VVTi. Now, all these cars that you're talking about are not VVTi apart from Oppa. But overall, if you're looking for fuel friendly, G2 will be fuel friendly. If you find a Caldina that has a 1.5cc, if you have a Caldina that has a 1.5cc, then it will be okay because Caldina is much more comfortable than a G2. Yeah, because the G2 is actually low. Caldina would be higher. Okay guys, thank you very much guys for always taking the time to be here. Tomorrow I'm going to schedule a live for 5 p.m. but yeah, I'm having a meeting between 2 and 5 so I'll schedule it at 5 in case I come a little bit late. Guys, understand meeting but I'm going to schedule a live for 5 p.m. I'll be driving from town to home, but I'll be here tomorrow. Thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. I hope it has been helpful. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.